The most common shot in golf is the dreaded slice. The ball may start out reasonably straight, but then dramatically curves away from the starting line to the right, in the trees, in the desert, out of bounds, or some other unplayable lie. It's frustrating hitting this shot time and time again, but more frustrating is to be doing something wrong and not have a clue how to fix it. This video is going to tell you what is causing your slice, and it's probably something you haven't heard before, because the majority of what you've heard is wrong. The flight of every ball does two things. First, it starts in a certain direction, and then either continues in that same direction or curves right or left away from that direction. Let's compare the ball flight of two different shots. One is the beautiful baby draw that the majority of the pros hit that starts a little to the right of the target line and then gently curves back to the left towards the target. The second shot is the slice that starts a little to the right and then curves dramatically more to the right. Both of those shots started in the same direction, but then one curved left and one curved right. The ball's initial starting direction is determined the most by where the face of the club is pointing at impact. If the face is pointing to the right of the target line, what we call open, then the ball will start to the right. If it is closed, it will start to the left. In golf science, this is known as the face vector. In our draw and slice examples, the starting direction was the same for both. The face vector was pointing slightly to the right of the target line. So what caused the difference in how the ball curved? If the path of the club is moving to the right of where the face is pointing, the ball will curve in the opposite direction to the left. If the path of the club is moving to the left of the face, it will curve to the right. If the face and path vectors are pointing in the same direction, there will be no curve. The ball will move in a straight line. This graph is showing a straight push and a straight pull. If there is a small difference between the two vectors, the curve will be small. On the right, the face angle is 3 degrees to the right of the target, and the path is 6 degrees to the right. This 3-degree differential produces a gentle draw back to the target. The picture on the left shows the same small differential, except the face and path are left of the target line. This produces a gentle fade back to the target. Both of these shots are quality shots. There are tour players who prefer the draw, and there are tour players who prefer the fade. If there is a big difference between the vectors, the curve will be big, producing either a big hook or a big slice. This graph shows a hook with a path that is 9 degrees to the right of the face, and a slice with the path 9 degrees to the left of the face. Now you know what makes the ball curve. Now you know if you hit that slice that starts a little to the right and then curves more to the right, that the face of the club is okay, but the path of the club is moving too far left of the face. You don't need to correct the face, you need to correct the path. Now, if your slice starts more than just a little to the right, but a lot to the right, then you will need to correct both the face and the path. Any instructor who knows the correct ball flight laws and also knows the path and face vectors of their student, either through ball flight observation or exact measurements of a Doppler radar monitor, can accurately diagnose the problem and then implement the correct swing adjustment. But unfortunately, too many certified instructors do not know the correct ball flight laws. For years, the golf industry has described the ball flight laws backwards. What you will most commonly hear is that the path of the club determines the initial starting direction, and the face of the club determines how the ball will curve. The following are some examples of the wrong ball flight laws being presented by the golf industry.
The path of the hands is left of the target line. The ball's initial starting direction will be to the left.
This sign is from the John Jacobs Golf School, showing that the face determines curve and the path determines initial direction. Even an article in a recent Golf Digest suggests that the path determines the initial start line. Even the PGA teaching manual that is used for certification teaches the wrong ball flight laws. The good news is this is slowly changing. Now more and more science-based instructors are being heard in the mainstream of the golf industry. One example is the team of Grant Wade and Joe Mayo, who are among the new breed of tour player instructors. Here is a brief clip of Joe describing what determines the starting direction of ball flight.
The ball flight laws. The bottom line is this. The golf ball begins its initial flight, its starting line, by the club face, not the club path.
Another prominent science-based instructor is Sean Foley, who coaches Tiger Woods and many other top tour players.
90% of the people that I've given lessons to have all come with the same issue, which is slicing the golf ball. Part of this comes from the fact that we've kind of misconstrued the ball flight laws for so long. So we always figured, okay, club face has to do with curve and path has to do with where the ball starts. Well, as we've seen through some of the new technology like TrackMan, we've seen that the face is 85% responsible for the direction of the golf ball. So it's not leaving at a right angle, but 85% of that. Now the path that the golf club takes is going to be responsible for the curve that the ball's on. So you curve the golf ball with your path and you start the golf ball with the club face.
At the On Target Academy, I can help you identify which ball flight profile you have and help you make the necessary changes to correct your slice.